Shalom Akim. All praises goes to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and Elsewhere Millstone. Salutation goes out to the brothers out there pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty. And Brother Cora Allen, through the Spirit, this is going to be another lesson. It says Notorious B.I.G. iconic crown sells for nearly $600,000 at hip hop auction. All right, this article is published September 17, 2020. Continuing on, it says a plastic crown worn by rapper Biggie Smalls sold for $594,750 at a Sotheby's auction. The Notorious B.I.G. wore and signed the crown just 3 days before his death in 1997 during a photo shoot. Prior to the auction, its value was estimated between $200,000 and $300,000, but never underestimate the dedication of hip hop fans. Okay, now the point of making this lesson or doing a lesson on this article is to say that the crown that Biggie Smalls received is not going to be compared to the crown that the elect men of the Lord will receive. All right, so the crown Biggie Smalls received basically represents his reward for selling out to the so-called white man. All right, that's the reward he received, man. That's the crown he received, a crown of plastic. Okay, all the hits he made, all the money he made, Esau, the so-called white man, these different nations, and he received a crown of plastic, man. It's an iconic picture, and here it is. This man is actually wearing a plastic crown. All right, now that's madness. But you know what? That goes back to the curses. All right, because we're not in our rulership. Okay, this is not our rulership, man, and this father proves it. Biggie Smalls, his mother and his father are both from Jamaica. Most likely, they're that makes them from the tribe of Benjamin. All right, from the nation of Israel, from the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, and we know this because how else can we prove this when we go into the curses? Matter of fact, this is Deuteronomy 28. I'll start at 33. It says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. All right, it says the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Right, thou knowest not eat up. Right, and thus going into mainly the so-called white man Esau, according to the Bible, and these different heathen nations. All right, because we labor for wages, but then they take our money back through taxes. All right, they take our money back through unnecessary bills. Okay, things that should be free, like Medicaid. All right, it says the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Now Biggie Smalls was a well-known rapper. All right, pardon me, Biggie Smalls was a well-known rapper. Okay, and he made a lot of money for these different labels, but ultimately Biggie Smalls died broke. It says, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. Yeah, the man died broke. All right, like a lot of these famous rappers and actors and people that gain publicity and bring in money at the height of their career. All right, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. I'm gonna jump down. Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And that's what we're seeing now. Who's living in the ghettos and the slums? Who's being fed poison? Who's being made? Who's receiving the money off of the poison that we're being fed? All right, these heathens, the so-called white man. Okay, the heathen nations. All right. Do you see do you see Israel, any Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, in rulership over our country? Do you see any Negroes, Latino, Native Americans in those summit meetings? No, you don't. Why? Because we were on the bottom. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Right? Because when you come into the hip hop industry, okay, or you become a celebrity or whatever, they actually give you a deal, and they give you money to make your next album or videos, and you're supposed to accumulate. Basically, they're supposed to profit off of that, man. So he says that, and it's the same thing in the ghettos and the slums, man. They lend to you, all right. You might, based on your credit score, you might receive a loan from the bank or whatever, but you're expected to pay that back. It says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, all right, and keep his commandments, and his statutes, which he commanded thee. Okay? Big Smalls didn't worship Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, didn't worship Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So of course, we're under the curses. Okay, pardon the noise. I'm outside doing a lesson. This is the land of confusion. All right, but continuing on, I'm get some more scriptures. All right, let's go ahead. Micah. Says was it 2:10? Right. It says Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Arise ye and depart, this is not your rest. That's talking about the nation of Israel. All right. Contrary popular belief, it's not those Edomites, which their true nationality. That's the true nationality. All right, they're today known as so-called or white people, which they ain't white, they're red. Okay, it ain't those red people over there in Israel claiming to be the Jews, man. All right, the real Jews are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We know that because we fall under the curses perfectly. All right, it says, "Arise and depart, for this is not your rest." Right, this slavery. All right, this condition on earth, man, it's not our rest. All right, we're serving bondage here. If this is our rest, Biggie wouldn't have to have a plastic crown on. All right, Biggie wouldn't have died at a young age if this was our rest. It says, "Arise and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted." Right, and it's polluted. It shall destroy you, even with its sword destruction. Mentally, it's destroying you. All right. The vibration it pushes out is polluted. Or you a nigga, you a monkey, you a spick. You ain't gonna do no good. You can't do better. You can't afford a higher education. All right, the Lord's a so-called white man. Okay, these are ways that's polluting you. Not to mention the food, the water, okay, the air. It will destroy you, even with the sword destruction. So how you come out of it? You come out of it by coming into the truth. I understand, by returning to your true power, your true nationality, okay, and serving the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and until He redeems us by coming in and delivering us. All right. Now let's go on. This is 2nd Ezra 2:43. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a higher stature. That's Yahweh Shai. All right, a young man. Wow, because Yahweh Shai's gonna come back in His strength and His power. Okay, and that's how we're gonna be in the kingdom. We're gonna be in our youth, in our strength, in our power, man. Okay, like Superman. It says, in the midst of this, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a higher stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns and was more exalted. Right, he set crowns upon them, and guess what, man? Them crown wasn't plastic. Okay, the crowns Yahweh Shai is gonna set on the elect's head lower, and part of that number is you won't be you're not able to imagine. All right, you're not able to imagine. The scriptures say, what eyes have not seen, and ears have not heard. All right, so you won't be able to imagine what kind of crowns that we set upon the elect's heads, man. Okay, it says, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns and was more exalted. Right, because he gave his life for the nation of Israel. He redeemed the nation of Israel. All right, he came with our salvation and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Okay, so listen, man, this is not our rest. Okay, this is not our kingdom. This is not our time to rule, but our time is at hand. All right, our time is at hand, man. This is Jeremiah 1:12. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown. He shall receive the crown of life. And that temptation comes in many forms. All right, Yahweh Shai resisted the devil. Okay, so now we're facing that temptation also. The men in the truth. Okay, and if you're not in the truth, but you're a man of the Lord, guess what? You're gonna end up in the truth, man. You know, you don't just resist the devil in the truth. You start resisting the devil in the world too. Certain things you might see in the world, it just might seem off to you, like eating pork. You know, the scriptures also speak about naturally obeying the Lord, man. You know, all right. You might see homosexuals and you don't want to be friends with no homosexuals or deal with lesbians, okay? Or worship a so-called white god. It says, blessed the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. So we got to endure temptation on to the end. All right, and that temptation will get tougher and tougher. All right, and one of those temptations also is the offer the microchip. All right, it says he shall receive the crown of life. All right, and that's going into a literal crown, yeah, a literal crown. But that's going into salvation, being saved out of this upcoming destruction. Okay, being kings and being a nation of kings and priests. It says, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. And that goes back to Deuteronomy also. All right, the Lord said, if you obey my Lord's such commandments, this is what you receive. Okay, that's going to a crown of life. If you disobey me, this is what you receive. And we received our punishment. Okay, but now that punishment is almost over. This is the last scripture I'm going to get. This is Revelations 2:26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my word unto the end, and he that overcometh and keepeth my word on works, slack, it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, right? Because when you join this truth, that does not automatically mean you're saved. You got to keep the word onto the end, the works onto the end. I see men come and go. All right, the Lord have mercy on me. May the Lord continue to have mercy on me and the brothers that we stay in this thing and continue to fight. It says, he that overcometh and keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. All right, so Biggie, when Biggie comes back in the ring, when Biggie comes back in his right mind, all right, he's gonna be a rulership, man, in the kingdom. He's gonna have a real crown. All right, a crown that you never thought of having. Okay, and he's gonna have power over the nations. All right, just like all of us. Okay, right now we on the bottom, but guess what? We gonna be on top. All right. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Okay, and we have a rod of iron. Okay, like kings have, or scepters, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. Okay, so listen, man, we're gonna have a rod, and we're gonna be able to judge these nations. Okay, and we're gonna have the power to bash them over the head, or break their back. Okay, do as you will. All right, as we see fit. It says, even as I received of my father, right? Because the Lord Yahweh Shai, he received dominion from his father, the Most High Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai is going to share that dominion with the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay, so hey man, Biggie Smalls' crown was plastic. All right, our crowns, you could say, man, I don't know, it's gonna be angelic. You know, it's gonna be some crowns we ain't never seen before, man. It's gonna be a beautiful moment, and that's why we're fighting this good fight. We're fighting to overcome, to keep the works onto the end. All right, like we just read, man, because we see what this world have to offer. All right, plastic, rubbish, dirt. Okay, these FRN notes, it's nothing but dirt. But with that, I hope us edified. I want to say all praise goes to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakwadash, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutations, God, so brothers out there pushing this word in all sincerity and honesty, the hopeful elect. Shalom.